Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence. I'm Mysterious JG. In the last video, we took, I don't remember the name of the castle, but we took a castle from the Saito with a little help from our friends, the Asakura. The Asakura are our true friends. We will always be good buddies with the Asakura. No doubt about it. Katsuie was not involved in the battle, so one thing I want to do on this turn is take a look at Katsuie's loyalty, see if he took a hit for not being involved in a major battle for the Oda clan. Beyond that, the only sure thing plan I had, well, if I didn't already do it, I think last time I got Saruko conspiring with, I'm blanking on the young lady's name, but there's a female officer working for the Matsudaira that we want to hire, a created officer. In the back of my mind, I'm wondering if we should make a play for that created officer who's working for the Azai. But basically, I want to just take a look at how the created officers are doing. So, first things first, let's take a look at Katsuie. Scavi, good job last time. Proud to be a veteran of the Oda clan. Excellent! Oh, this is so good. I guess Garth has not gotten over getting captured. Maybe when his master changes over, he will forget about it? Katsuie is still kind of a tough one, but he doesn't have any new issues. And actually, Saruko's looking pretty good for the first time in a while. Well, no, he's... 20 is the highest loyalty you can have. He's at 19 and he still shows discontent. But he's a veteran officer, and that's what I'm really looking for. To keep these guys around long enough that I start getting boosts just from the fact that they've been around. Lubu has still got that like plus 10. When that goes away, we're gonna have to really work on what to do. Nobusada is just being a pain. It's laudable to wish to support the clan after retirement. Oh, that's not the guy I thought it was. Ryu Doragon is doing okay. If we keep him around for a while to get that +1, it'll be nice. Soup Phantom now has that bonus too. Soup Phantom must not be in charge of a castle anymore, because I'm not seeing that boost. I don't know why Aya Oda doesn't have the boost that Fuji Oda does for being part of the clan. Oh, Aya is adopted. Well, she was. Yeah, she was sent over by a vassal. Veteran. Let me get back to where I can actually see the portraits so I can pay attention to the ones that I had a particular question about. I think you've got the veteran thing helping out now, but he's still pretty pissed about getting captured. You I'm interested in. Lord of a castle and treasure. He might have veteran by now if he hadn't lost him for a while previously. Alright, so, well, first of all, let me, not that I think it was like a miraculous victory and we'd have trouble recreating it, but let's save, because we did just win a battle in a castle. So that would be a pain in the ass to lose that, you know, due to like a glitch or crash or whatever. Let's take a look at how some of the created officers are doing. So our first created officer is Akira Hato, and she is in the Matsudaira, and we are currently working on trying to get her to join us. Her loyalty is at 7. She has a required loyalty of 5, so it's not going to be easy to get her. Her only bonus is one for having been with them for a while. But if we keep working on her, she's got a -3 because she doesn't think her master has ambition. What's her ideal is ambition, that's why. And well, tell you what, lady, if you stick with them, I can't win you over. Once Ieyasu takes over, if you have any sense, you will recognize that he has ambition, though he's also, of course, known for his patience. Slow and steady wins the race. That was I don't think that was an expression amongst the Japanese, even though they use it in one of the Samurai Warriors games with the Ieyasu, but he embodies that. Guy lived a long life on the battlefield, carefully picking his allies, and as an older man, he came to rule Japan. Yeah, so, what is there to say? How do you solve a problem like Akira? I'm looking forward to having her on the force. I hope it can happen, because she's going to be an asset for sure. But right now, she is still with the Matsudaira. But we're working on it. We're working on it. Next up would be Alza Rhine, who is working for the Takeda, which I believe, based on that portrait, that's pretty much what Alza Rhine wanted. Veteran officer, gets on well, and received a treasure. So you've got like a negative, something with your dream, or you know, it's probably your tenet of neutral, or maybe your ideal of spirit doesn't match the current leader of the Takeda, but they gave you a treasure. They obviously are happy with your work. Good luck with that. Hope things work out for you. It'll be a while before I could possibly make a play for this officer anyway. And then we've got Atata Orara. Alright, a fries. He is a created officer, even though I would have... Hey, and he's a lord, too. So he's proud to have been made lord of a castle, and he's a veteran officer. So he's perfectly happy with the Rokaku clan, who are kind of like west of us. Yeah. And we got a couple of ladies. We have the guy who gave so much trouble to Nobuhide in battle. We have Charlton Jaina. We've been using her primarily for diplomacy, and she does have the diplomat skill. So that would be why. So she is basically, for all intents and purposes, she is our representative at the Imperial Court. Which, you know, might not be that glamorous in terms of action events in the LP, but she was in battle with the Lord of the Oda. And being our representative of the Imperial Court is important. I would say that Charlton Jaina, yeah, you got nothing to complain about. You've actually been pretty prominent. Let's move on to Kolio Wing, if he's even around. See, you look like you're a created officer, and you're not. Takeda retained her with when her husband was killed at the Battle of Kawanakajima. She served Shingen Takeda as a ninja and taught young shrine maidens how to gather information as they traveled. Oh, that's pretty cool. She's probably... Well, she's not getting along with them very well. Oh, but her required loyalty is like 0. She may be, like, vaguely the basis of the character Kunoichi. I'm not sure. But anyway, Kolio Wang is the actual created officer that we mentioned. I just like, hey, neat portrait. That interesting. So you're working for the Besho clan. I don't remember where they are, to be quite honest with you. But you're getting along well. You're a veteran officer. You are not a lord, and they haven't given you a treasure yet. So, well, you still seem to be reasonably satisfied. Corey Hall is working for the Otomo clan. And he's the lord of a castle and a veteran. Who would be next? Deshaun Miller. Deshaun Miller is the lord of a castle and a veteran, and has been given a treasure. The Takeda can afford to throw around treasure a little more loosely than some of the clans are with. Not to, like, say that Deshaun Miller isn't a worthwhile officer or anything like that. But, he's got a lot of negatives on there, too. They're actually having a hard time keeping him happy. Just because he doesn't line up with the, like... Well, somebody's working on him because he's got discontent. So somebody is conspiring with Deshaun Miller. And there's an opening there because he doesn't get along well with the current leader of the Takeda, who I believe is Shingen's father. But I wouldn't be sure about that. There are people watching the LP who know this better than I do and can correct me. Delicious Tacos is a created officer, go figure. Delicious Tacos is male, despite the portrait, if I remember correctly. I think, wasn't that the... Were you the one whose gimmick was that you were like a goofy cross-dresser? Like, this was actually the gimmick somebody came up with, I don't remember. But they're lord of a castle, so somebody thinks you're doing a good job there, Delicious Tacos. And I think the joke was the character was supposed to be, like, pretty good at everything, but not that great at anything, and just thinks that they're the best ever. And as a that's right, you are the one who has like your whole thing was like you're a ninja assassin and you dress as a woman to deceive people, but you're still incompetent. Like they had this whole goofy. I think they wanted to be the new Mr. Serious, but the stats are overall just too high for that. So you're actually being treated pretty well. I mean, it helps that the Satake clan is not like the best thing ever, and they are also at Oda Castle because I believe this was the character who wanted to work for me. Somebody wanted to work for me, and they put Oda as location, so I put them in the location that had Oda. No, wait, never mind. That wasn't me. It's somebody else. Because there's an Oda clan that isn't mine. It's weird. I don't know how it works. There's Dosan Saito. Intelligence 101, leadership. Yeah, Dosan Saito is overall an excellent officer. And if I ever get around to Let's Playing Kessen 3, he is a thorn in your side for a long time. He is also, for you Samurai Warriors fans, the father of Lady No. So, like, when there's I think the first Samurai Warriors game has a thing about this sort of sinister voice telling No, kill the fool, kill the fool. Like, this sort of legend that cropped up that Nobunaga's principal wife was actually sent to assassinate him and ended up, you know, it just didn't work out or whatever. Yeah, that would be her dad. Moving on to Dylan Disaster. Sorry, it's the Schemer and Scheme Master. Lord of a Castle, veteran officer, getting on pretty well with the Nagao clan. Good for you. Here's the Earl King. Du schönes Kind, komm, geh mit mir, gar schönes Spiel spiel ich mit dir. Yeah, the Earl. If der Earl König asks you to go with him, don't go. Again, don't want to sound like I'm selling any of the officers short when I say this, but he's working for the Hojo, who have a lot more cash to throw around. So they can afford to give officers like Earl King and Grimmeth Reaper treasure. The fact that he's Lord of the Castle is actually pretty impressive. But he got captured because his master doesn't know how to fight a war, so I'm not the only one fucking up and getting people captured. But yeah, he's working for the Hojo. It'll be, I'm going to put off fighting the Hojo as long as I can. The Hojo, Nobunaga never made war on the Hojo that I recall. It was, he had passed on and Hideyoshi had taken over before that all went down. Here's Fat John. It's Uchi Castle Rap with Fat John featuring Lil Wayne. He's Lord of the Castle, and he gets on pretty well. Well, that's weird. His liege wants to make the same kind of world, but he doesn't get along well with his master. Yeah, whatever, buddy. But he's with the Shimazu, who are a pretty badass clan. They are probably going to take out the clan the Serious JG works for sooner rather than later, unless they're a vassal, unless they've made them a vassal, which is probably actually what's going on. Garth Morrigan would be next. Yeah, no, with Lethal's help, I can use the time more efficiently, but man, we'll have 50 characters to go through. I gotta move. He shows loyalty and conduct and can be trusted as a retainer, and he works for me, so why am I reading about him? We know his score. He's still pissed that he got captured. Hey, I got you back, man. Gain on Hojo, I don't know why I'm hanging around on him. Grimmeth Reaper would be next. There's Gomon. Who's he working for? The Rokoku. One of our creatives is working for him, isn't he? Grimmeth Reaper. Loyalty 20, required loyalty 15. He'll treasure what he... Oh, they gave Grimmeth a top-tier treasure, too. He's a proud veteran officer. He's no longer the lord of his own castle. But, yeah, they gave him a top-tier treasure. But he is the most OP officer in the game because I let him... you know, it doesn't take much on his part. But yeah, he talked to me. I broke the rules a bit for him. I gave him a more broken character. Anybody's character can reach comparable levels of power to Grimmeth's, but you would need, like, years and years to learn all your skills and level up experience. Grimmeth basically started broken. Go away. He also has top level. He's been given a really high level treasure. Again, he's working for the Takeda, and they've got a lot more money to spend than some clans. And he's the lord of a castle. So he's doing pretty well for himself. Another officer. Oh, you are created. I was about to say, you look like a created, but you actually are created. So Hans Shapiro is working for the Nagao. We have another created working for the Nagao. I can't remember who. And she's lord of a castle and getting on pretty well. She seems like she's pretty happy, young lady. Hans Wurst is working for the Nanbu. They haven't really done a whole lot to make him happy, which is kind of surprising. His required loyalty is 13, his loyalty is at 8. Yeah. And nobody is conspiring. No, there he is, discontent. Yeah, so somebody is conspiring to bring his level down to where it is. But, yeah, you might not be with them for very long, Hans. I might have to keep an eye out. I don't think the Nanbu are anywhere near my territory, but, you would be ripe for the picking if anybody was looking to hire. Some headhunters might be out there. So next we got J4W, the pirate, the guy who eventually, and I had to kind of apologize before it was all said and done, but, which date are you? Okay, well, it's obviously not, Masamune's not around yet, but whatever. Yeah, J4W pirate guy. Hey, it's actually a married guy, and his spouse is Lady. Nice lady! He was nicknamed the Tiger of Kai. Oh, yeah. This is Shingen Takeda, before he was called Shingen, I believe. Yep, that's actually Shingen. So he's, young Shingen playing it safe, but as you can see, his stats are fucking awesome. Shingen is one of, like, probably if you rattle off a list of like 3 great generals of the period, Shingen would be in that top 3. Better in the field, better military leader in the field than Nobunaga by a considerable margin. But yeah, J4W Pirate's who I'm looking for here. So come on, move along, Gigi. There we are. He was the guy who I ultimately, like, wrestling with the fact that I had the wrong portrait with them finally is what caused me to figure out what had gone wrong with the EX1 portraits. But, he's been made Lord of a Castle, and has been with his force for a while. The Ashikaga are not going away anytime soon, so we're likely to actually, it's fairly likely that we're going to be fighting J4W Pirate before it's all said and done. JG Mystery. He is a veteran officer, but I gave him a low required loyalty. But he's working for a clan that's in a bad place, and he's not even Lord of a Castle because I think his clan is down to like only having 2 castles, maybe even 1. So the head of the clan is automatically the lord of that 1 castle. Jiao Long Yang. Working for the Shoni clan. I don't even know where they are. But he's been given treasure. He's been made Lord of a Castle. They're working pretty hard to keep him. Honestly, putting in a lot of effort considering he has a very low required loyalty. So we will not be seeing him leave that force anytime soon. Next up would be Kaede. Oh, it's Yoshimoto's wife. And that's Yoshimoto. I think that's Yoshimoto's mom. Anyway, sorry, Kaidaka is who we're looking for next. Did I pass him by, or is he not around yet? He might not be around yet. G F G H I. Yeah, he's not around yet. I'm just going through the alphabet out loud to make sure that I'm looking in the right place. Conringo, if he's, hey, it's Xiaodun. Shingen's tactician. Katsuie. See, I always want to look up these ladies. Enjoyed dressing as a woman. Oh, no, it is a woman. So it is a guy. Let's say pigtails are cute, but this is one of these characters where they didn't give her a bio because she really just pops up to be a maiden, but I set it so that they all become officers. Sorry, though, back to the point. Conringo, that's who we're looking for. I don't see Conringo. If Conringo comes up under R for Ringo, I guess be paying attention, Conringo guy. and let me know, because I'll just need to like be aware of that for the future. But I'm thinking this means that you gave yourself a later birth date and just aren't around now. Kyosuke Morikawa is one of the guys I probably didn't even notice last time because he has a Japanese-sounding name. But he is a created officer. He's working for the Nanbu. And he's a head of a lord of the castle. Have fun storming the castle. He's got some pluses and some minuses with this force, but overall, he's one of those guys who set his required loyalty below because he wanted to be a loyal officer. So there you are. Here is Shingen's wife. I'm just kind of curious. She married Shingetaka at age 16 with the Yamagawa's influence, and that's fairly old for a Japanese noblewoman of this era. Her later years were filled with sorrows, including the rebellion of her son, Yoshinobu, and the death of her eldest daughter. That's too bad. I'll have a bunch of ladies in a row here, actually. Well, no, actually, we've got two, so never mind. Lady Okatsu, Ieyasu Tokugawa's concubine, also known as Aisho In. Highly intelligent woman, she changed her name from Okaji to Okatsu after she witnessed the victory at the siege of Osaka Castle. Interesting. She's got pretty good stats, too. But Lord Grimaldus is the actual next created character to look at. He's working for the Azai, which I believe was what he wanted. And, yeah, Lord of a Castle. No treasure, but overall lines up pretty well with the Azai. Lu Bu, we know what's going on with him. He's currently got max loyalty because he just switched, but he might be trouble eventually. For now, I'd rather have him on my side than somebody else's, but, you know, you got a tiger by the tail. You got to be careful with that. Yeah. Masaki Sakai would be the next one we need to look at. See, I always get curious. Yeah, but this is another. She's just, she only got thrown into the game because I said it that way. Did I miss you already? Masaki, M-A-S-A-A. Yeah, I think Masaki Sakai hasn't popped yet. Yell at me if I missed him, but I'm pretty sure Masaki Sakai has not popped up yet. Because it would be M-A-S-A-A. We have M-A-S-A... Either I wrote it down wrong, or he's not around yet. Okay. Master Miller. I don't remember if Master Miller showed up before. It's Uncle Baldo's cousin. Yeah, Master Miller hasn't shown up yet either. Miliardo Peacecraft. Ugh. There he is. Working for the Satake clan. Lord of the Castle. Gets on fairly well with his boss. Good for you. Then we got Miri Katoji with the sweet looking archer outfit. And getting along well with his master. Doesn't have very high loyalty requirements. Not giving you treasure, not giving you a castle, but you know, you're a pretty laid back dude. You take life as it comes, so that's good for you. Appreciate that attitude. Wish I had more people like that in my clan. And I like officers like Skaji North, Scothy North. Even if I can't get your name right, I appreciate it when I come across it in my retainers. Mitsuhide Aksechi, I think we had figured out that you're working for the wrong force. He, the guy who put this character together did try to figure out where Mitsuhide would be. So maybe there'll be some plot events and you actually are at the right place. But you're getting pretty well. You're the Lord of the Castle and you're seem to be a fairly valued officer in your force. So the Hatakeyama clan. Mr. P, we know the score with Mr. P, don't we, Mr. Perfect? It might be what the P stands for. Mr. P is, Mr. P is an officer for the Matsudaira who hasn't really been all that happy, which has given us an opening. Let's refresh our memories here. Doesn't think his master has ambition. So we're trying to add a couple of points based on, you know, just conspiring with them and get them to join us. Mr. P, good all-around kind of officer, and honestly not as focused on getting him as some of the others, just because it'll be... He's the kind of officer who could sit around in a city and his turn might pop up and he might do something useful, but talent is spread evenly enough that until we have a lot of castles and are trying to have good officers everywhere, he might not just pop up as the best at any given task. Although that poll score 92, that's high enough that if I don't have one of my best poll officers in a city, Mr. P will be the guy in the city. Yeah, sorry. Night Demon. I don't even know if you're in the game yet. I don't remember having... Oh, yes, you are. There you are. Ah, Night Demon. I'm still thinking back on... You're insisting I screwed up your portrait somehow. Nobody else picked from the male portraits and had an issue. But whatever happened with your portrait, you are Lord of a castle. Even if you had issues with how I put your character together, it seems like you're getting along well enough with Harumasa. And you're a veteran. So you and the Nanbu are making it happen. Keep up the good work for the Nanbu. Nobunaga Ayo. Where are you at, Nobunaga? I guess I should skip down until I get to NO. Yeah, I just saw you. Like the helmet. There's Nobunaga Ayo. Nice picture. Yeah, I remember this one because I think this was one of the ones where like I was borderline, like they didn't actually fill out all of the traits, and something they didn't fill out and left to me, and I based it on their portrait, I remember. But working for the Yamauchi Uesugi clan is interesting because I think there's more than one Uesugi clan at this point, because they're going to have similar events to me with the Oda, with the Unification War. So I don't know which side of that war you're going to be on, but that war's not happening yet. You're a veteran and you get on well with your master, but they haven't really done anything to win you over, like treasure or castle, and somebody's trying to hire you away, and it might be the other Uesugi clan. So it'll be interesting. It looks like you will play a role in Kenshin's rise to power, potentially, either aiding or opposing, but we'll have to see. Your stats ended up 50s across the board. I thought I'd changed that. Maybe it didn't take. Maybe I did it and then forgot to save changes. Apologies for that. That would explain maybe why they're not throwing treasure at you. You came out kind of mediocre. Love that outfit, buddy. You're just looking good in that outfit. Princess Kaiden. I don't remember Princess Kaiden. Oh no, there's Princess Kaiden. Working for the Asakura. So we'll be coming across you eventually. That was the clan, wasn't the Asakura the clan that we were just fighting with as allies? Yeah, we'll be friends forever. You'll always be our ally, Princess Kaiden. There'll never come a point where we're enemies of the Asakura. Anyway, Lord of a castle, no treasures, but seems like they're taking pretty good care of you, Princess. You have your own castle full of maids who make sure that you have plenty of beautiful clothes laid out for you. Raiden Weissman is next. Weissman? I don't know why I gave a German pronunciation. I think that's a Jewish name. Chillaxin with the Kiyosu Oda clan, which means that the time is coming when we are going to be fighting you, and after we beat your ass, you will probably be one of the biggest pains in the ass we fight, actually, but when we defeat the Kiyosu Oda clan, and I do not plan on that fight, we'll probably be picking up Raiden Weissman. Unless, like, your AI drives you to leave the area and refuse to serve the Oda after the Oda becomes me and not me plus one other guy. Though he doesn't get on very well with Nobutomo. So maybe he'll be willing. I have to think about whether I can maybe make a play for you before... If hostilities open up and we don't go straight to fighting, maybe I can actually try to win you outside of battle. But Raiden Weissman would be a good addition to my army, I'm sure. Ryu Doragon, we're treating him as good as we can. He's got a treasure and he's Lord of a castle. Doesn't get on too well with his master, but I'm hoping he'll get along better with Nobunaga when the time comes. Next up is Saruko, and I don't even want to think about Saruko. Fucking pain in my ass, Saruko. Saruko's an excellent officer. I mean, I guess he's worth all this, but shows discontent on occasions, slight dissatisfaction. Your loyalty's fucking 19. Anyway. Saruko, the whiny ninja. He's the master of the ninja art of whinging. Skaji North. Oh, hey, who are you? Daughter of Tamakage Noa, first name Aya, after husband around. Oh, hey, it's Kenshin's sister. She's, yeah. Okay, she's actually playable in Samurai Warriors 3 and 4. Portrait doesn't really resemble her presentation in those games. She's kind of a fun character. This dude is going to be threat. He will probably might even be leading troops later, but he's plot-wise he's a bit of a threat to us. Sometimes shows blatant hostility. Toyotomi retainer. He protected the Toyotomi army stronghold at the Battle of Shizukatake. Later he served Hideyoshi Toyotomi, become a chamberlain of Wakayama Castle and receiving land. Don't think he's important enough to break the plot if he leaves us, but yeah, he's probably meant to be with us because he's eventually going to work for Hideyoshi, who has yet to join us. But no, the next guy we're meant to be looking for is Skaji, so Skaji North. I keep stopping when I see women. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Or even if it's actually... No, it's a boy. It's just a pretty boy. We got some Bishonen. There's another Bishonen. There's Skaji. Skaji has just been, like, my rock. Like, she's got even enough split of talents that she's not, like, constantly popping up in any particular role, but just having somebody with a... And the required loyalty of 8 isn't even that freaking low. It's just that I've had so many, like, high-maintenance officers. So she's getting along well. Basically, her required loyalty is high enough that if she didn't happen to line up with Nobuhide in a couple of ways, she would be complaining as much as anyone else. But that, and now she's been around long enough to have the +1 from the long-time officer, which is just good. Soup Phantom is next. Here's this dude. Died of illness. Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing him much more in the story. Soup Phantom. Let's begin the meeting. Gave him a treasure. He's a veteran officer. Not only the in-game character, but even fucking Phantom of the Han, or Soup Phantom, I guess is actually your username anymore. He fucking complains every time he's not in charge of a castle. Get over it, man. Gonna have to deal. Speak Evil does not appear to have popped up yet, so moving on. Some young guy. Some young guy. He's working for... I think he's working for the same subgroup of the Uesugi that we saw somebody else working for. And he's Lord of the Castle. Veteran officer, gets on well with them. So we'll see. He's going to be... eventually, he will be tied into the story of Kenshin, the God of War. So we'll see how that goes. So I can just imagine Lord Kenshin, God of War, and like noble and very old-fashioned Japanese warrior communing with some young guy. It's going to be awesome. Tadayuki Uehara. Where are you at there, Tadayuki? There you are. Yeah, I saw you floating around. I was thinking about making a play for you because you didn't seem all that happy. But it looks like it was I think it was the Azai who were trying to hire you away, because I don't remember you working for this force. I don't know, maybe it was, yeah, it was the Azai. So, somebody's already working on hiring you. I'm not sure who it is, but, you're Lord of a castle, but they don't seem to have any treasure for you, or there's someone else even more valuable they're trying to keep, but, Tadayuki Uehara, hot commodity, man. A lot of headhunters out there looking for his support. Next up, we have Pat Tanaka, a.k.a. Tanaka Tsukushima. So, there's another lady. And she's just got generic portrait. She's just the daughter of some lord. I was crazy. For a second I thought we'd already passed by Tanaka too. Tama. Sakon Shima's youngest daughter. After Sakon's death at Sekigahara, she was said to be educated by a tailor in Kyoto. Later she married Toshitoshi Yagyu and birthed the great swordsmaster Toikane Yagyu. But that does not give us Tanaka Tsukushima. But here he is. He's working for the Murakami clan. He doesn't have treasure, doesn't have a castle. He's just kind of there. So we'll see how that works out. They might lose you if they're not careful. Somebody might make a play for you. Toroyama Risaru. This would be, unless I'm mistaken, this would be Lethal's character. And he, I think, was working for the Imagawa. So, need to be keeping our eyes out for him. There he is. I know his loyalty is high enough that he wasn't popping up as someone I could conspire with. He's lord of a castle. He's a veteran. Don't think we're going to be able to get him by any means other than direct attack. But it's progressive, like the insurance company. So I'm thinking once we do get him, he should get on well enough with Nobunaga. But he may ideal spirit. I don't know how that will affect anything. He may decide to just ditch the territory, because I wouldn't execute him, I don't think. We'll have to see, won't we? He may end up actually fucking us up and wrecking the LP for everyone by kicking my ass. We don't really know yet. Totoko Otachi. She is mostly a poll officer, and she's got reasonably middle-of-the-road loyalty requirements, but she just gets on reasonably well with the people she's working for, who are the Matsudaira. So I hadn't even noticed you down there. I apologize for that. But yeah, she's a creative officer working for the Matsudaira, but because they haven't done anything for her. They haven't put her in charge of a castle, they haven't given her treasure, but she just naturally gets on well enough with their leadership that her loyalty has stayed high, and she's never popped up on my radar as someone to recruit. And because she's a political officer rather than a military officer, she never really came out. We didn't come across her in battle that I recall. Maybe we did. Was she part of one of those units we fought? I don't know. But yeah, she's there, and in the fullness of time, I imagine she'll end up working for us. Although her ideal is clan, so she might be so loyal to the clan we defeated that she refuses. We'll have to see. Then we've got Vulture Bean and Vulture Bobo. I haven't noticed them hanging around. Wondering if they're, oh, well, no, never mind, they're right there. But before we read about them, another lady. There's Vulture Bobo. He's on the march. Maybe we should actually check in on that before. This video is obviously going to go long. I think I'll just have one whole long video of this per play session, maybe. And I'll try to remember to label it what it is, so that people who don't care about the created officers can just skip it. But he's lord of a castle, but he doesn't get on well with his master. His required loyalty is very low. Bobo would be just a great retainer if he had specified he wanted to work for me, but he didn't. I tried to put him in the Saru Bobo territory, which makes sense. So yeah, I fully expect the Hatakeyama clan to last longer than they normally should be meant to. But he's on the march, so when we wrap up this, and we're very close, we'll go and check and see what he's up to. But I think he's lord of a castle based on actually being good. I mean, if the AI is using castles to boost the loyalty of officers with really high loyalty requirements, Bobo's just kind of chill. He's like, yeah, you know, doing my job. Don't worry about me too much. There's Vulture Bean, who is just a little fussier than Bobo, but pretty chillax as well. She's got the golden touch. She's also lord of a castle, which means this clan has more than one castle. So I think they're already they're like growing. These guys might actually be a problem. There's a guy with an awesome ass helmet. Yamade Okada is the next one, right there. It's Jackie Chan. He's working for the Otomo, excuse me, and he's Lord of the Castle. His required loyalty is 1. Basically, this guy just wants to work for one force and stay with them. There is the famous officer Yazuke. Zeikenpachi should be next. And he's, we noticed him floating around too with the Azai, but I think his loyalty, somebody's working on him. I can't remember. I think I'm trying to hire him, aren't I? Somebody was trying to hire him. And it might have been me. Then we got Zelnarak Tetsu no Kabe, working for the Hatano clan, and Lord of a Castle. But it's barely enough to keep him on board because he doesn't really get on that well with his lord. And last, but certainly not least, is Zur Uncle Baldo Fall. He's the Lord of Mobe Palace. And that's pretty much what's keeping him happy. He's got his own castle. Have fun storming a castle. Let's take a look at units in the field. And Vulture Bobo's unit. Can we go to it? There's probably a shortcut to go to his unit. But, well, the battle is occurring up here. So Vulture Bobo is on the march with 3,500 troops, 120 days worth of food, so he basically just left. Well, where are these guys at? Oh, okay, they're coming at now. Who's in charge? This is Vulture Bobo's personal fortress. And Vulture Bean, I guess, is down here. No. Wow, these guys have gotten powerful. There's Vulture Bean, the lady of... well, you know, Vulture Bean, if you're watching, and I don't think she actually is. I put you in charge of a castle as requested, but when they moved you to give you your own base, I don't know if you have a castle anymore. You have a fortress. And it would appear that Honganji. Yeah, you guys are basically fighting a militant group of Buddhist monks. These are kind of like the Japanese version of the Shaolin. And it would appear that what's happening is that they are marching out to defend themselves from an attack by Vulture Bobo's clan. So that's what's going on. And that is, as far as I can tell, no, I was going to say that's the only combat that's going on. There's warfare going on all over. Echigo Uesugi. Okay, this is the main Uesugi force, is the one that a couple of created officers are working for, including, oddly enough... No, that's the Date. I get the Date and the Uesugi's logos confused. Anyway, this has been a pretty long video. Were there any officers of interest I want to look up now? Mr. P. He's working. We're working on him. But here's a Kirahato, who I'm even more anxious to get, and Lady Okatsu. And there is Totoko Atachi. I'm pretty sure we noticed her at some point, but she has not been on my mind because, as a political officer who's too satisfied with her current employer to switch sides, don't really think about her that much because she's not going to be a threat directly in combat, and she's not going to be someone we can win over to help expand our own territory or improve it. Alright, so that was a lot of nothing ultimately in terms of gameplay, but I hope you guys enjoyed, those of you who had created officers, getting a chance to see how they're doing. That being said, we're not going to do that again for a while because that took forever. I'll have some interest in checking up on... You know what? Let's check one more thing before we go, because I checked up on... kind of in detail on what... Lethal Feline's character is not involved in combat, because no one with the Imagawa is currently out in the field. Doesn't look like the Hojo are on the march either, so I doubt Grimmeth is in combat. And Grimmeth's character is not really combat-oriented this time out either. And it looks like Team Zerfall up there in the frozen north isn't doing a whole lot of fighting either. So, checking in briefly on Mysterious JG, he does not have his own castle. Instead, it's gone to this guy who has lower stats, so what the fuck are you thinking about? He's the son of the ruler, I guess. Nepotism. That should totally be my castle. I guess they... I don't know how they order them. Age? I don't know how they order. It's not alphabetical. Whatever. These are all Shimazu, too. Because this clan is basically like the Sashu Shimada. I don't know. They do not have an alliance with the Shimazu, so I'm not sure why the Shimatsu haven't swallowed them up. Shimazu are currently engaged in other pursuits. They've encircled this castle, which they're about to take over. Probably the next time I let time progress, we'll get a message about that. And it looks like that will be the end of this clan. You guys got anybody interesting in there? Got a lot of officers in there. Because, I mean, I don't know how many cities this group started out with, but anybody who still works for them is concentrated in there. But I didn't recognize any names of created officers. Alright, as I said a moment ago, we now are really going to call it a video. Iti Piti Kubo Kawa. As opposed to Kobayakawa. Where am I at? I thought I kind of knew where the heck I am. I'm over here. Alright. Don't panic. So we've got a bit of a lull, and I don't know, story-wise, exactly what's going to happen next, because by the time Nobunaga takes over, the next big plot event I know about is when the Imagawa try to march on Kyoto. Or the capital, which I think was Kyoto. Maybe not. Maybe the capital was not Kyoto. But that's going to involve marching through us, and I recall, like, there are scenarios you can start where Nobunaga's in charge, and the Imagawa own all of this. So we'll have to see if plot events will get us there automatically. And if not, I guess we're coming near the point where we just got to break off and make our own decisions. Regardless, this has been a really long video. So I hope those of you who had created officers enjoyed it. Anyone else who watched it, I'm just throwing it out there. You may not want to watch future videos where we catch up with created officers. I'll try not to do them often. I'm gonna try to remember to make them a recurring thing for the benefit of those who have recurring officers or created officers. So if you have a created officer, let me know. Give me a little like comment on whether or not you enjoyed seeing what's going on. It'll also give me a feel for how many assholes created officers for this thing and didn't stick around to watch, because I'm already, as long as this LP is going to be, I'm already in the back of my mind thinking maybe I'll do another playthrough as a different force. And if that's the case, I'm pretty much going to flush. I won't delete them, but anybody who created a character, this isn't a thread, this is just kind of me being practical. If you created a character and then you didn't keep watching the LP after, like, 10 videos in, you're already not watching anymore, then I'm not going to include you in future Let's Plays. I'll throw in some of the people who entered the Lethal Lottery and didn't win and give them a chance instead. So, alright, calling it a video. When we come back, we'll return to normal gameplay. I'm Mysterious JG. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Sayonara.